Okay. Well, hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. My name is Peter, and I'm here to have a chat with Charles Hu. Really excited today because we're going to be talking about a new live class that we're just beginning called Developing Compositions for Illustrations. So this is really exciting. We have had a live class previously with Charles called Composition Fundamentals. So this is a really exciting project-based class where we're going to be going into uh, some more projects, and we're here with the man himself. So, how are you, Charles? And maybe you could just give us a little introduction about who you are for those who don't know, and what this class is really about.
Okay. All right. So, hi everyone. My name is Charles Hughes. I've been with New Masters Academy for a very long time. I have done several uh, tutorial for them, and one of the tutorial I did was called dynamic sketching. Now, some of you guys might already heard, or some of you guys might already watched. So, that's kind of a starting point of what uh, this class. Uh, uh, it's about because when I was teaching the dynamic sketching course, there's a one section in which I talk about compositions, and because actually, matter of fact, I had to add that content into that course because it wasn't in it. And I remember uh, I teach at a school in California called Pasadena Arts and College of Design. I remember years ago, I was substituting for one term a class called painting class, composition painting class. So I was subbing it. I didn't develop the syllabi. So and then was a more of a sophomore class. So I'm assuming everyone already knows the composition at that time. So I just kind of follow the weekly outlines. So the final project, they have to come up with the compositions with the, I think the self portrait, and then I was shocked. I was shocked when they turned into their ideas, and almost none of them knowing how to develop a composition. So I remember I always keep in the back of my mind. So um, uh, when I was teaching the dynamic sketching class, I told myself, well, how good would they? The MS sketching class basically I teach this the class to draw organic and mechanical subject, individual subject. I showed them how to kind of the class is about how to visualize an object into three-dimensional structure so you can see them and draw them in space.
Right.
So yeah, right. So and then I thought, God, how good would they do if they can only draw individual subject, if they can't put them in a context, or if they can't put it in an environment? Um, because the class is for entertainment track. That means all the students in that class is going to be doing some type of entertainment related. I thought that's how they not how good would they would be for them if they can tell stories, right? If they can draw very well, but I'm not going to take them anywhere if they can just draw one individual item really well. So I had to kind of have a sneak into that composition, although like that was just a one section, one part, a section of that week of a lesson. But I want to talk more, and since I don't get to teach a composition class at Art Center, so I proposed to the new master saying I wanted to show more about talk about more on composition because I know how crucial and how important the composition is because it's picture making. That's what we do. Regardless if we're doing for visual developments, illustrations, fine art means like you're doing painting for galleries. It's all about visual communications, and visual communication it is a composition. And so that's where after dynamic sketching I started kind of and then I did a class live stream called entertainment figure drawing for entertainment, and then I did a the first that compositions that kind of goes over some of the key point, the key exercise, and what the composition need. And then this class was kind of about taking those informations and like put it in a project, so that's how this class was developed, Peter.
Yeah, great. I think it's really interesting because I know a lot of students, depending on when they studied with you, they may know you as the figure drawing teacher or the dynamic sketching teacher, and you have all this experience, this breadth of knowledge in these different subject matters. And I think it's really interesting how with composition, it adds this real context to the ways that you can apply it because you are so advanced in these different subjects like figure drawing. So I think it's really interesting, and I am wondering, like how would this class assist in connecting a basic understanding of composition with the skills that would be required to put together a full illustration?
You mean like how's the sorry, Peter, you mean well, how's the first composition and how is that
Or
transition?
how would this understanding of composition lead students to be able to put together their own illustrations?
Well, like I said, like I was saying earlier, I think composition is the key element of picture making. And then regardless of illustrations or kind of or visual developments, um, it's um, so there's a couple key, obviously a couple key components you kind of need to know, and then you can express over on top of that. Um, for example, Peter, can they see the screen?
Right. So we can see your iPad right now. This is
Mm.
the demo from our first class today.
Yeah, so this was earlier today, and I had to write out a few, and there's more because today we're focusing more on the linear layout, so we haven't even get into the value part of it. So I it seems a lot of voltage jargon. There's eight elements. So I told them these are the things you need to be aware of if you are coming out with a image. Eye level. You need to know where the eye level if you're dealing with environments. The vanishing point. Of course, if you're talking about storytelling, you got to have a focal point, right? And then if the your subjects in an environment, they're probably, or if there's other stuff within the environment, you need to know where's your first and second and third read, right? And then the gesture. Um, Earlier, Peter was saying that I was used to be known as a figurative artist, which I was. I was guided by another instructor, Steve Houston. He also it's part of Newmaster Academy. He was my mentor. Steve is big on gestures. If you guys watch the tutorial, you probably all know. And I'm actually really lucky and grateful that I was able to to learn what gesture is, because some instructor that I had before I noticed they never really talk about gestures, and the gesture shapes and form changes my life. Right. So I teach many classes. I taught many classes, taught many different classes. But for always the first thing I told the students, if at the end of the term, if you don't learn anything from if you don't learn anything from this class, but I need you to take these things with you, the gestures, the shapes and form, because once you have that, um, you would be like me, which I was again, I was blessed to um, able to teach for different departments. Like I said, I was teaching foundation department when I just graduated, and I was teaching also teach for entertainment department. I also teach for illustration department, and also now I'm teaching for illustration department, but entertainment track. So that flexibility that I have, the security that I have, it's all it's all because that's the fundamental skill, solid fundamental skill that I have, and that's, like I said, that boiled down that just that three thing: gesture, shape, and form, and that um so and then obviously there's balance, visual balance, there's negative space and positive space, and also different scale and space. All those are crucial elements to create a good solid designs. Yeah.
So, how useful would it be to learn these concepts, even if you're not interested in following the entertainment arts, but maybe you're a fine art painter or a different kind of illustrator? How much do these concepts apply to different kinds of artists?
Yeah. So visual communication, right? So there's a sensitivity that we are, regardless is music, visual art, um, food, right? It's a response. It's sometimes response. There's and sometimes can be objective, like some like I said, that's why there's no art movement anymore, because you can't really judge the good art or the bad art. But it's, at the same time, there's certain things that's kind of um and the way that there's certain things you can do. um what I told the class, it's a science, right? So I so I so I told my students there are just um two components, two elements you need to have to be a great, to be a great artist. The one's the science, and then the other one's the poetries, right? So the science is what you guys are taking classes, paying tuitions, and that's what all the instructor that provide to you is the science, and take us years to figure those out. And we basically share with you within an hour or less. But obviously, it takes repetition to practice to really to understand it. So, and all these stuff that I'm writing it down here, all the formula and stuff, those are the science stuff. The loss and light, those are science stuff. But those are, in turn, it's the groundwork, the blueprint, the fundamentals. And then you can um um like like I said, there's unless today, if you do abstract art, there might, even to be honest, even for abstract art, I was telling the student just now in the morning, the even the composition itself, actually, it's abstractions. It's about this kind of the stuff I'm just sharing with these A things right there. It could be a very abstract term. What's eye level?
Sure.
Vantage point, right? So it's about putting this balance, um, that creates a visual balance. We feel it. We don't. It doesn't take professional eyes to see it. We just feel it. So the color too. We just engage to it. Um, so it doesn't matter you're doing fine art, you're doing illustrations, you're doing entertainments. Of course, the sometimes the the outcome I ask for a little slightly different. Again, for the fine arts, I always say it's you are expressing what you want to express. There's nobody asks you what to do, right? You just, and then for the illustration and for entertainment, there are certain guideline you got to follow, right? It's the plot, the story. You have to follow, but in turn as creating that 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 visual communications, that engaging to the audience, a certain thing that needs to be the ingredients that makes the food taste good. It has to be there, and that's what you know. So for me, I think it's all applied.
Right. So it's just gaining like an awareness of these things, and then these abstractions that can be applied to different kinds of storytelling, or just having some ownership over the kind of message that you want to get across.
Yeah, yeah. To be when it boiled down to science, like I said, I could write down all the elements. Just like cooking, with I can give the chef will give you all the ingredients, but it's like
Right.
how you cook it up. That's the thing, that's what it can be different combinations, can be all different other flavor spice. That's the thing that you have to kind of find out. Yeah.
Right. So I guess we've talked a little bit about, or you've talked about some of these composition principles and some of what we covered in this first lesson. But can you describe how this class is organized across the 8 weeks?
So, well, since it's going to be a project base, and then um, I select I pick a movie, and then just because the movie that I liked is from 2011, is a movie called Hugo, and I thought it's just a great movie, and I really, I know some movie. If you ask me what's my favorite movie, I would just tell you it's Hugo. So so that's the movie that I select, and I did my demos and did my talk and all that's based off that movie. So so the students basically, if they wanted to do this, to work on the same movie Hugo, they can, which I actually suggest them to, because
Mhm.
it's always inspiring to have other students doing the same projects, and then they can kind of compare to learn from, piece up and learn from each other, and that's what great about class. But also, if just in case somebody that doesn't have access to the movie, I told them they can do anything that has to be adventure, fantasy adventure, because just makes the job a little bit easier, especially to come up with something interesting, compositions. And then so we're gonna start off with just the layout. I can so this was a quick demo. This was a quick demo from the Hugo movie. What we do is, instead come out with blank on paper. It would be really difficult, especially the ones that never, just started this, or never done really composition before. So I asked them to took from, grab from any film still. So this is actually from some of the film still that I took, but I altered it. I changed the eye level. This one upper right, the actual film still was shot from the front, and it was an eye level shot from the front, of the dad and son. I moved the camera all the way up because I wanted to get the sense of environments, to see that the studio table, see all the tools, so they can really feel like the kind of engaged to the like I say their environment, and can get a sense of what they do. And So all these layout here is all kind of interpret. Um, so this so this is what we do for like the first week, just linear, just line, no shading, just basically learn all the stuff I wrote out just now, the eight elements to be aware of, to come up with some interesting layout. And then from that, we're gonna also start working, and we're gonna have feedback. There's a lot of critique in this courses, critique, and then we're also gonna go over value grouping, because that's also very important, and also it's not easy to do, to only use three value. So I asked the students if they want to do, well, you can have two uh, 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 rules for this class. You can either do digital, or if you want to do analog, you're gonna basically get markers and color pencils. So the marker, I asked them to do only three marker, black marker, and then also based on the Copic I have there, with you also use a number 4 and number 6. So there's only three values, and so we're gonna work on to learn how to group the values, and then we're gonna start doing some color comps, like figure out what the color temperatures, and also the color compositions in terms of what how color harmony, all that stuff. And then like I said, the final, they're gonna come up, hopefully they're gonna come up with a kick-ass illustrations, or a visual developments of their composition, their concept. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what kind of work is coming out by the end of this class. I think
Yeah.
it's going to be really creative.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, so say I'm like I'm like I'm actually excited to can go over to talk about this, because like I say, this is so crucial. It's very important for us out there wanted to do like comic books, want to do anything that they want to express of their imaginations on the paper. I know you got to know composition. It's just a it's amazing thing once you know how to do it. Just like literally, just like you're directing. It's like a movie. You're directing the shot. It's just very satisfying.
So you mentioned that there will be a lot of critique in this class. Could you talk a little bit about, well, there are 3 demos in this class. We've just had our first one. Can you talk a little bit about the critiques that they'll be getting and maybe how they can best prepare to benefit from those critiques and those insights?
Yeah. So, well, from my experience, I'm pretty sure the assignment that we'll receive next week, which is right, they had to do 6 thumbnails like this, like
Right.
linear thumbnail. I probably pretty much gonna go over a lot on the I call the visual guidance, the gestures. Does it the gesture reads flows well? Does it all the elements have a sense of that's clarity on where the focal points are? Does the balance of the frameworks, or does everything gets all like very condensed and just there's no resting area. So I'm going to talk about all this design elements. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a lot of critique on that's a blueprint, and so that's actually it's very crucial. And if in terms for the color wise, if you have a solid layout like this, the color actually it's actually a little easier. Now we just have to talk about in terms of storytelling, what type of mood if you want to get. You can do monochrome if it works, or you want to it's high key, low key. It's gonna be vibrant like on the beach, or it's gonna be indoor. Is it gonna be, what type is it gonna be dramatic with warm light and a cool light on each side? Or so we're gonna also talk about those color choices. And then sorry, the value grouping in the middle, I forgot. And then again, the value grouping is to make sure do they have a clear sense of where the dark, middle, and light value sits on these frames, because we don't, like, the identity could get lost. And then and I'm pretty sure those are going to be the feedback I would be going through this for this course. Yeah.
Right. That's great. You did mention that you were offering digital tools and traditional tools as an option. How would this class serve both digital and artists who favor those traditional mediums for the compositional work?
Yeah, like I said, I done on paper. I drew on paper for a long time. I'm still
Right.
not a digital expert. I do digital mostly for critique and for layout like this, like either for a layout for a idea, or I do a color comps for for painting I want to do. Um, so for me, the knowledge is it doesn't matter if you use on paper on a computer. The only thing is that with the computer, it just quicker to change things, and that's what the benefit of it. Um, but like I say, it's not about the tool. It's about the information, about the knowledge. So my mentor that taught me how to do this composition, his name is John Watkins, and he's a comic book artist. His comic books is visual development, and the guy is crazy. He don't know computer at all. Everything he did was Xerox copy paper pretty much, and then just Sharpie, um, color pencil, black color pencil, and that's it. That's all he uses. And the stuff come out is amazing from him. John Watkins, you guys can look him up. And
It's
then
beautiful work.
yeah, and
Really
he
incredible.
can control the tone value so well. So it's like I say, it's again, it's just a tool that you prefer. And then so for some of you guys, maybe just started it. If you are heading into entertainment fields, like you can just, I think digital might be more easier for you, things you can change it quicker, and think that probably going to be the main dominant tool you're going to be using. So you can use the digital. But if you are illustrators, you prefer to draw, and then you don't have the computer assets. just to you could do it by hands and then and just with the marker, like say you have marker, color pencil, you can still it's still doable.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
yeah, it's yeah, like I said, it's all come down to like say the knowledge you have.
Yeah. So I guess we've talked a little bit about materials and about the class structure. What can students who are just joining now, what can they anticipate to learn and take with them, from completing this class, especially in terms of developing and refining their compositions to a finished state, if they want to really create finished work from this?
So yeah, so um, I I remember, I guess, but when I was back when I was students, you know, the development process, there's always going to be a hurdle, you know, and I think it's for any art making, any picture making, there's always, always going to be a hurdle. But I also remember every pieces that I done, I gained more confidence
Mm,
every piece I did because I overcome something. I solve a lot of problem and challenging problem that I face. And then sometimes even to a point I feel like I don't even know if I can do it, but I still overcome it. This is that confidence every artist need to have. Right? You have to basically that you take that confidence to apply to the next project and get disappointed again and then and then overcome and move to the next project. So you still kind of develop the like say the mentalities. So so with all these week by week, all the process from the beginning, from the layout all the way to many refinements and all that to down to the finished pieces. Even just say even if the piece is not like just say not 100% finished, I can tell you're still gonna get a lot of on it. You're gonna still feel rewarded. You're still gonna feel like you achieve some things, and then again that achievement, that sense of achievement, it's like I say, it builds, it builds the passions and then and then the confidence to the to the next project to what you're gonna do um later on. Yeah.
yeah, that's wonderful. It really sounds like building tools to be able to problem solve when you run into those hurdles in your own image making process,
Yeah, yeah. you
which
know,
we all need. I know I need it.
it's I don't know. People might not know there's how much like problem solving you put behind each picture they look at. They might just see it
Yeah.
as just beautiful images, but there's a lot of like I said, a lot of energy, a lot of sweat, tears, whatever emotions you put behind and to divide those beautiful images. It's again it's not easy. That's why you guys have to you know like I said because first of all you have to be consistent doing in your practice and then and then and you're gonna like I say you're gonna overcome many hurdles. You're gonna it's art. It's blessed or curse. There's no stop learning, right? So you're gonna be doing this like I'm gonna be doing this till my last breath. I probably still have my sketchbook, and then so it's and then the curse part you always in the set that could give you give you a sense that you never really feel. You always want to get better. You always want to achieve better, and then and seeing so um like I said, it's a I'm blessed to be able to do this as my career. I'm enjoying every day. I'm telling you guys, I'm enjoying my work. I get excited. I can think about it. I get excited the night before I go to sleep, knowing I'm gonna go to inspire um next generations. I feel very blessed for it. So it's like, if just something that you guys would like to do to also inspire others, like I say, just, you're going to have a lot of, like I said, challenges, but they all are going to overcome, just, and then, like I say, you're just going to get better and better, make it smoother and smoother.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a wonderful wonderful place to wrap this up, really.
No,
And
no,
I mean, we're just so grateful to have you as our teacher here, Charles. Do you have any closing statements on about the class or anything else that you'd like to discuss about the class before we wrap this up?
yeah. So like, what I always say is, like, you don't get intimidated because some people might think compositions and it's it's challenge to do, and then they just kind of put that aside and just working on the individual, like just just work on the individual sketches. But like I said, it's you have to be able to put those in the context. That's you have to be able to tell stories. I'm pretty sure that's also what you want to do. You're gonna learn. You're gonna step into compositions one day for sure. So if you feel like that, if you feel that's you you want to able to draw things out of your head, create an interesting like concept and images. um at least by taking, I think, but believe by taking this class, you can still learn what those are, how to balance what those elements are, how to use it. It might not, it's not going to happen in this section, but again, you keep working based on those, those ingredients, and I can guarantee you, it's like I said, one day you will be cooking a delicious food. I can guarantee you. You know.
Well, I can't wait to learn to do that throughout the next 8 weeks. So, well, the remaining 7 weeks. So it's really exciting. And guys, this class is still available for sign up. If you head over to live.nma.art, you can see both this class, Developing Compositions for Illustrations, as well as all of our other current and upcoming live classes. And our first session this week was recorded as well. So if you sign up, then you can watch that recording and then head straight into the assignment and carry on with the class. So it's going to be a really good one. I'm really excited for this. So thank you so much, Charles. Really appreciate your time and your experience and enthusiasm with teaching this subject to us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.